my lovely Capricorns. This is your reading for the week of May 4th, or when you hear it and it resonates, and it may not be for you, it won't be for everybody. Capricorn, as I was getting ready to work with the cards, and I was tuning into your energy and asking for guidance, something dropped into my head before I even got to the table here. And it was, if you have a choice between being loyal to a person who is not honoring your values or being loyal to your values, your job is to be loyal to your values, especially the values that are related to the things that the universe supports: truth, compassion, cooperation, honesty, of course, goes along with truth, but there's also that sense of intentional good and intention for well-being, because what is cooperation? It's wanting to create a win-win situation. Now, the card that comes up was choice. And something else, sorry. Okay, I'm not sure exactly how to put this. If you are concerned about being disloyal to someone who is disloyal to the values they have expressed, you are to understand also that everybody has a higher consciousness. Everybody's soul has come here to learn something and to grow. So to deliberately not challenge somebody who is dishonoring the values that are central to your life and to your well-being, let's just put it that way. If you've got somebody who is not honoring those values in a way where they were expected to be honored, then you calling them on that actually could very well be part of what their learning mechanism is. Compassion is not always just saying, oh, that's all right, oh, I won't say that, or I won't say that. Compassion is very much with an awareness of the vulnerability of others, so that still can be done, whatever needs to be done in terms of changing a situation, in terms of making a choice, in terms of restructuring, because I feel like that's very much a part of what you're doing. And compassion does not necessarily mean just rolling over and going, oh, well, that's okay. It is about standing. And it is something that I remember Carolyn Mace talking about years ago when she was talking. She used this example and she was saying, okay, I know I've mentioned it on the channel before, but I don't know for who. But it was this statement she made, well, so imagine that you love to have your hair parted on the side, and that's where you feel the best. And your partner knows that, but they really like your hair parted in the middle. So you go ahead and you part your hair in the middle. Well, do you really think that their angels are going to be happy with you for letting them browbeat you into that, or browbeat, that term, but like kind of guilt you into that or manipulate you into the idea that you should be doing something contrary to what you like? Because if your partner knew that you liked it parted on the side better, why are they trying to get you to part it in the middle? Right. So that's really fundamentally a higher perspective about standing for your truth, standing for your values, and understanding that compassion, it's probably, maybe I would say, a slightly metaphysical version of tough love, where it's a truth. It's something that is not going to allow someone who is acting out of alignment with soul energy, with their higher conscious mind, take advantage in any way or try to reinforce something that they know you don't stand for, that is contrary to you. Now, you're also being told this isn't always easy, especially because, if you have been a caretaker and if you have been in situations where most of your relationships are based on the structure that you've currently created with a belief system and an acceptance of certain behaviors from other people, well, now when you stop accepting those behaviors from other people, you are restructuring your foundation, and it can feel absolutely like the wrong thing to do when you call somebody out, or when you just gently say, no, thank you, this is not for me. It can feel like it is absolutely wrong. But again, when you are changing a pattern, a behavioral pattern, especially when it involves your relationship with other people, it's very often not going to feel good when you start to do it. And sometimes you'll overdo it and then you got to come back to center. But the point is, when you take God with you, right? When you allow yourself to work from compassion, but from the higher understanding of what compassion is about, remember the hair, part in the middle, part it on the side. When you take God with you, and this is important, and I really feel like I want to say this to you. This is important because when you take God with you and when you keep aligning yourself with divine energy, with source, with God, when you keep tuning your energy to that frequency, you are going to make decisions in alignment with that frequency. It's going to allow you to have the courage and the strength that you need to make the decisions that your personality, your ego may have perceived as not nice. That's all, just not nice. You're just not being nice. Well, you can be nice and still be strong and still state your needs and expect to get them met. Okay? Remember, take God with you. And this card is really specific. There are other cards that you could get that involve referencing the divine, support of the divine, blah, 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 blah. But this one is saying, check in with God on a regular basis throughout the day. So I'm going to read it for you. If you already believe in God in some form of deity, such as God, Allah, unified field, or divine presence, begin your day by saying hello. Every hour or more, say hello again and invite this presence to be with you today. Hi, it's me again, just checking in. I just want you to know that I'm acknowledging your continued presence. Or, I don't really know if you're there or not, if you even exist, but if you do, welcome to my day. Now, I'm going to extend that a little bit for you in the light of the rest of this reading, and that is not just, I'm inviting you to my day. Check in. Lean into the support. Be grateful for the presence of God. Be grateful for the wisdom that you are being given through divine presence, through your intuition, through your heart centering, through your knowing. Because Capricorn, you will know when you let yourself know and stop judging your decision. Stop trying to figure out what the right judgment is. In your heart, you know. And because you are an earth sign, being in your body with your feelings is very, very helpful and can be very difficult. But again, take God with you. Lean into compassion for yourself too, okay? Really for yourself, because we really need to be, this is important. We need to be compassionate with ourselves when we're breaking old patterns, especially when it's breaking old patterns that have felt loving. We need to be compassionate with ourselves because it's a tricky toggling back and forth sometimes as we're making these decisions. We're going to get pulled into the neural patterns that are the old way. We're going to start questioning what's right. Check in with your heart. Check in with God. You are getting the answers that you need, Capricorn. Okay? Much love. Take care.